What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Sunday, April 18th. Hopefully you guys have had a wonderful weekend. I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you can, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out the channel. Now, here's what I want to go over today. I want to go over the fourth stimulus check. I want to go over the next stimulus package. I want to also go over the infrastructure package and, that bill. There's a lot of talks right now that the infrastructure bill, what we see in this package, is going to dictate whether or not we see a fourth stimulus check. We also, depending on right now, the case counts, if there's another surge in cases, that could impact the infrastructure bill, which we could see an infrastructure bill and a stimulus package be merged together. Again, there's talks. And the hard part about what is currently happening is nobody knows what is going to happen. Nobody has any idea, because depending on how this virus mutates, depending on how the COVID cases increase, how quickly they do, if we see a surge, also depending on how effective the vaccine is to the different variants of COVID. All this stuff goes into playing into whether or not we see additional stimulus, whether this infrastructure bill is going to be just infrastructure or infrastructure and stimulus. Because what many lawmakers are saying is that an infrastructure bill is great. The problem is it is building for the future, which is again great. But the problem is, if we are going to invest in the future, why not invest in the now? This is where we need to really focus, is now. What should we be working on right now? So here's what I can tell you, and this is actually pretty good news. This is actually great news in my opinion. A fourth stimulus check, okay, is not just dependent on all that stuff, but a fourth stimulus check at this point is being seen as needed. And I addressed this yesterday as well. I addressed this yesterday because as of right now, Democratic lawmakers are saying that we must pass a fourth stimulus check because it's the next stimulus check that is going to help millions and millions of Americans. The $1,400 was great. The $1,400, according to reports, is what provided the American people a way to get back on their feet. But they aren't thriving. The American people aren't thriving because of this $1,400, and that was on the heels of the $600 stimulus check. They're not thriving. They're just getting back to their feet. The American people have been knocked down. We were knocked down. We were knocked back. We were pretty much knocked out. So what they're saying right now is, no, we need to provide an additional stimulus check. A fourth stimulus check is a requirement. The $1,400 should have been a down payment, not the $600. President Biden said when former President Donald Trump passed the $600 stimulus check, that was just a down payment on what was to come. The $1,400, that was supposed to boost the economy, get the American people back on track. But what we're hearing now is that if cases keep surging, if we keep seeing these different variants pop up, and now we know that some of the variants or some of the vaccines are not as effective with some of these different variants, especially with a dual or double mutated strain, then what do we do then? Dr. Fauci even came out a couple days ago, I think on Friday, and said that we will need a booster shot. If you did get the vaccine, you will need a booster shot about probably 8 to 12 months after you received your vaccine. So what we know is this is not something that's going to go away. And this is where some are saying that right now, this means we need to provide more. And it's not just about the stimulus checks. It's about another package. Yes, there are talks on an additional package. And for probably a couple weeks now, I haven't really mentioned an additional stimulus package because that wasn't really in the works. There wasn't really talks on an additional stimulus package. There was talks on a fourth stimulus check. There was talks on different provisions of extending them, like the unemployment benefits. Like probably what's going to happen is nutrition assistants, SNAP benefits are going to see an extension of their 15% increase on top of that. We will most likely see, and this is something that I talked about I think on Friday as well, is that lawmakers are pushing for an extension of the child tax credits, which again we haven't seen yet. Those aren't even coming out until possibly July. So as of right now, what I can tell you is there is talks on an additional stimulus package, but taking that additional stimulus package and putting it in with the infrastructure bill to make one complete package. That's what we're hearing at this point. And that's what's troubling is right now, lawmakers can't figure out the infrastructure bill. Lawmakers can't figure out just different pieces of stimulus, of different relief that would help out the American people. They're fighting on everything. Democrats want to provide a $2.25 trillion infrastructure bill. Republicans are saying that no, that's way too expensive. Even when Senator Shelley Capito, she came out and said that she believes that the bill is going to be anywhere between $600 and $800 billion that Republicans are going to propose. Well, this was on, I think, Thursday or Friday. Okay, my days kind of run together, but this was like on Thursday or Friday earlier this week. And what Republicans came out, and she did soon after that, I think Thursday night, was that, okay, well, yeah, that's not what we're going for. We're not going to go for that. 800 is too high. That before one Senate Republican stated that no, $615 billion is about where we're at. And so right now, you got Democrats over $2.25 trillion. You got Republicans at $615 billion. There's just such a big gap that right now it's seen as highly unlikely that we see any bill pass anytime soon. But according to Nancy Pelosi says her goal is to get this infrastructure bill passed by the July 4th recess. So what I can tell you is they do have a date. Their date as of right now is let's get this done by July 4th, because then everyone's going to go on recess for the holiday. Well, okay, great. Well, what if they can't make that deadline? And this is pretty much what has happened for the past entire year is Democrats and Republicans do not ever agree. They do not ever agree, and they won't agree. But here's what's going to happen. If they don't make the deadline by July 4th, what's going to happen is they will have to push it into the end of July, but they will have to come up with an agreement. They will have to get a deal done by the end of July, because for August, we know both the House and the Senate, they go on recess for pretty much the entire month. And once that happens, they will not come back until September. Well, in September, the unemployment benefits are going to expire. And some lawmakers are saying right now that we have to write in an additional provision into the next bill to extend the unemployment benefits. Because if we do not, the American people, millions of people, as of right now, there's about 19 million people that are currently on some form of unemployment benefits. And if 19 million people go from receiving $300 per week in addition to their state benefits, let's say it's $200 for easy math, $500 per week, $2,000 per month. If you see 19 million people go from getting $2,000 per month down to getting zero, absolutely nothing, that is going to be a big issue. That is going to be a financial crisis in addition to this health crisis. So what some are saying is right now that we need to provide more. What I can tell you is an additional stimulus package is being discussed because it is needed. Now, a lot of people are saying that the fourth stimulus check is all they care about. And that may be true. But here's what I want you to understand. Let's say a fourth stimulus check gets passed in this next infrastructure bill. They put the whole thing together. Let's say it's $1,000 per eligible American. What you need to understand is if it's $1,000 per eligible American, great. Well, if this gets passed in July, also what's coming in July is the child tax credit of $300 per child between 0 and 5, or $250 for every child between 6 and 17. Let's say you have 3 children, all between the ages of 0 and 5. Okay? That means you would get, if you have 3 children, you would get $900 every single month for the rest of this year. $900. That's actually pretty big. $900, pretty big. So what I can tell you right now is, if you're going to get a little bit under, what was that, 900 times 6 months. So if you're going to get like, I don't know, what is that? 900 times 6. For some reason I can't do math in the morning. It's always been my issue. What is that? 900 times 6. It's easy math. Yeah, $5,400. I don't know why I couldn't do that. $5,400 that you get between July and December. $5,400 in additional income, especially if you are a lower income earner. Let's say you make $25,000 a year. If you can get 20% increase on top of your income instantly, that's going to help out millions of people. That's going to help out millions and millions of people. And what I can tell you right now is a lot of people are hoping and wishing for this to come as quickly as possible. Again, we're still in April. Okay, we got to get through May and June, but then in July, hopefully these payments are going to start flowing, and that will be great. But what some are saying is that the child tax credit is going to be such a big relief. That's going to be bigger than the stimulus checks. So let's say you have 3 children all between the ages of 0 and 5, and then you also get a stimulus check. If you get a stimulus check for $1,000, great, awesome, perfect. But that stimulus check, $1,000 per child, is going to be nothing compared to what you're going to get for the child tax credit. And that's where some are saying is we have to focus there, because the child tax credit is going to build for the future. That is what's going to pull children out of poverty. Reports indicate that it's going to be about 50% of children are lifted out of poverty because of this child tax credit. But that is why some lawmakers are saying we have to extend this, because we can't lift children out of poverty. They experience the good life, and then we just throw them right back in. Like, no. You got your one-time, child tax credit of $3,000 or $3,600. Great, perfect. But we can't keep doing that. We're just going to throw you right back into poverty. That's actually going to be very impactful if that is done, because according to reports, and I stated this yesterday as well, is if we see this, Democrats are almost a shoo-in to lose the upcoming election in 2022. Again, that's just reports. Now, again, how do you know that Democrats are going to lose the elections? And again, not everyone's going to lose, but if we see the Republican Party take over the House and the Senate, things are going to be different. We're going to go from night to day almost instantly. We're going to see all these different bills where everyone, Democrats are pushing for additional stimulus, all these different things, provide for the American people, provide for the little guy, trickle up economics, which I addressed yesterday as well. We're going to see all this stuff, but then as soon as Republicans take over, it's going to be, no, we need to be more fiscally responsible. We need to spend less. We need to provide the larger corporations with some tax benefits to keep them here in the United States, to help provide for and hire more workers and build up this economy. It's going to be a big shift. Okay, so what I can tell you right now is just expect that over the next few months, before July or even into July, expect there to be a bunch of different games, a bunch of different political games trying to fight for what Democrats or Republicans believe is right. What I can tell you is Republicans they're already expected to just sit back and watch Democrats blow things up. Okay, that's the report as of, I think it was Friday, maybe it was yesterday, but the report was Republicans are just going to sit back and let Democrats show the American people, show the world how much they are not, or how they are not equipped to handle this type of situation. And so some reports indicate that Republicans would be better equipped to handle a pandemic than Democrats. As of right now, we don't know. We're waiting to try to see the facts. And right now, the facts, the numbers, they're still slowly coming in. So as we get more information, I promise I will fill you in on all those details. But as of right now, the infrastructure bill, the next stimulus package, stimulus checks, they're all intertwined. And depending on what we see from the infrastructure bill, depending on what we see from Senator Joe Manchin, whether he supports another budget reconciliation or not, depending on all those things, we could see an additional stimulus check. We could see it, maybe it's a monthly stimulus check. But what I addressed the other day is no, it will probably be at most a periodic, which means it comes maybe every 2 months or possibly every 3 months. But that is more likely than a monthly stimulus check at this time. So again, this is great news that lawmakers are discussing not only the next stimulus check, but they're addressing additional stimulus provisions that have already been passed, like unemployment benefits, child tax credits, nutrition assistance, and things like that. So again, we're not out of the woods. We got a long ways to go, but at least lawmakers are discussing the possibilities, the options, the things that the American people actually want. And again, this is what I said about a month ago, and I said this for probably the past few weeks, is Democrats are going to pass the popular provisions. If a bill is popular amongst the American people, Democrats are going to pass this because, according to reports, Democrats have to pass the bills the American people want, or else they risk losing the upcoming election. So again, It's going to come down to another election. The bad part is it's over a year away. So again, we kind of sit back and wait. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a good Sunday morning. Hopefully you have a good Sunday afternoon and Sunday night as well. I will probably be on later on this evening to address anything else that we hear over the next probably 12 hours. But again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.